Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Laureli Shimayo. This is our Me Awakening panel for energizing body, mind, heart, and soul. We have events throughout the Northwest and online, and this is our online awakening panel. We have 4 or 5 practitioners on the panel today. The theme is medical intuition for people and animals, and we will be answering your questions. It's free to be here to listen and learn, and a small prize to ask a question of the panel. We will get started with practitioner introductions and then sort of set the stage before we start answering questions. These have been very popular panels. We are on a holiday today, so we'll see how this evolves today. Well, let's have our practitioners introduce themselves, and if we start to have a lot more people joining in the room, we'll go through and do quick introductions again too. So go ahead, practitioners, take 2 or 3 minutes and share about all the things you do and how it's particularly focused on the panel today. And maybe let me say, before we even get started, I'll just say some fine print. By participating in this event, the attendee understands that most of us, are not medical doctors and are not giving medical advice. The attendee further agrees that information gained from this event is for educational purposes only. Please seek allopathic medical attention if needed. The attendee indemnifies MeWe fairs and practitioners on the panel from any results related to the application of these educational materials in practice. So thanks so much for being with us with our fine print. And I'll put the information in the chat again, just the basics on what we're doing today, and then we will get started with practitioner introductions. If you'd like to ask a question of the panel, let us know. We ask that you pay first. The information for how to pay is in the chat. And if you do pay, please mention in the chat too, so I know, so I make sure to get you in line. We've got lots of people starting to land. All right, we'll go ahead. We've got, I guess let's have Donna, Dr. Donna. I'm going to go ahead first, and then we'll have Dr. Aubrey and then Norma. And go ahead, yeah, take 2 or 3 minutes maybe, and I'll go ahead and I'll spotlight. I'll spotlight us so we're up in the front. All right, great. Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dr. Donna Sauer. I do light work as an animal communicator, both with animals that are in the physical, and I guess you would say as a medium for those who have crossed over already. I also do energy healing. All of my work is done long distance because energy can travel long distance. So we don't need to work with your pet with hands-on, although it can do that, but it works out better energetically if I can work long distance. I get in tune with the animal's energy. I do sort of medical scans on them, but as Laureli said, I'm not a vet. I'm not diagnosing. I'm just giving you my impression of energy, what you might call non-positive energy in the animal, and I may see different things. The healings I do are many. I can do through my hands. I can use crystals, colors, sacred geometry, lots. So just whatever spirit tells me to use is what I use. I don't use anything like cards or pendulums or anything like that. And over the years, I've learned that as I do the animals, almost inevitably their higher angelic self comes in, because they are really from the angelic realm. They vibrate at a very high frequency, and they kind of have to lower themselves to come down and talk with us. But almost invariably, they'll come through with a spiritual message for their guardian that they want that guardian to know. It might be to grow in their own. Sorry, that's my dog whining. They may ask the guardian to speed up doing for others, or maybe open up their own psychic abilities, or just show gratitude for what's in their lives and so forth. So it's really been a lovely journey, and every reading I do, I learn something. I'm taught, I get a lesson too. Lately, I've been delving into writing books, and my first book is a book of poetry based on my Lakota healing tradition studies that I've done. I also am a Reiki master. I have a PhD in biology. And I'm a graduate of Lynn McKenzie's Animal Communication School. So anyway, if you have any questions, I'd be glad to talk with you. And Laureli, this time, It doesn't really matter if they show the animal picture or not. I'll just look away. I have a lot of trouble when people, I know you love your animals and you automatically want to show me the picture. But what happens is I look at their eyes and I'm kind of empathic, and I look at those little eyes and I go, oh, and it kind of throws off my energy. So it's always easier for me if all I need is their name. I need their color, kind of what they are. If they're hinds, that's okay too, about how old they are or how old they were when they passed over. That's all I need to know. But I know that you really, really want to show me a picture, so I'll look away when you do that. Okay. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great time this evening.
Thanks so much, Donna. All right, go ahead, Dr. Aubrey.
My name is Dr. Aubrey Wallace, and I am a naturopathic physician by training, but medical intuitive. I'm a, I guess, third generation healer in a family of weirdos, and I took my medical intuitive certification from a woman named Caroline Sutherland. I really work with humans primarily. I will, if I get an answer from spirit for an animal, I will share it if needed, but I would really I appreciate questions about humans. I tend to work in the area I call the window of health. So I really can get very specific details on your health questions. And in my practice, I also do live blood analysis, medical intuitive memberships where people do what I call the art of evolution. And I'm a spiritual artist, so I draw pictures of energy fields. I won't be doing that today, but and I will not be practicing medicine today. So I'm very excited to take any questions you have and see if I can help you out with that. I think that's it.
Maybe just could you say a little bit of like how does your knowing appear? How does your awareness, intuition appear?
When I'm a strong empath as well, so it helps me to get out of the way. And my intuition comes through numbers, and then they fit into my window of health. So I will read a chakra that's involved, generally a chakra that is most strongly influencing your health, one that's most strongly impacting the imbalance. And then I'll give you very specific guidance in 8 areas to target for yourself on where to take steps towards moving towards your own health. I think I answered that question. I will just need a name, and then it would be helpful to me if you would narrow down the psychic internet to a condition or a symptom, and then I will be able to narrow that in for you, but I can also do a general read if needed.
Great, thank you so much. It's great to learn how we work. All right, Norma.
Hi, I am Norma. I'm a spiritual healer and also a marriage and family therapist. Today I will be mainly working as a spiritual healer here, but it's always connected. I'm just wearing different hats, how I do the work. I grew up with my gifts, spiritual gifts. Since I was a little kid, I was really intuitive, and I got message, and I knew what was going to happen in the future. So that helped me to help that person or find a cure before that will happen, or how to prevent it mainly. And I grew up with that and thinking that it was normal. But until I find out that not a lot of people were able to see and to feel what I was feeling. When I get close to people, I exactly know how they are feeling. If it is something emotionally or any black, I was feeling it since I was a little kid. So now it kind of became a normal way of interacting, and how can I use my intuition to help others. As a spiritual healer, I work with spiritual guides that they guide me with my ancestors as well, with herbs. My grandma was an herbalist, and I grew up with her, and she also was a midwife. And I have done, well, I'm blessed and honored to have those gifts about women's issues and how can I be there, and the prenatal care and also a postpartum care. I love working with kiddos. During the pregnancy, I had a gift to connect with the baby and to see how they're doing, and also removing any trauma, generational trauma, or any trauma that the mother is going through, so it doesn't affect the baby. This is one of the signs. When I do individual healings, I do it in person, also a distance healing, and works the same. But if the person is not here in California, I can do it all around the world. And I work removing negative energy, trauma, witchcraft, any spells from this life, or if it comes more from the generational trauma or witchcraft. I have seen so many instances where the person is carrying witchcraft from the mom, but the mom just transferred to this person when they were inside, when they were during the pregnancy, they just carry along. So I treat about like substance use as well, emotional trauma, anything that they want to work on. We do the healing, and it's just physical, emotional, spiritual, to unblock any type of blockage from the chakras, from uh, their heart that is being stuck. I clean and open up their heart to feel, to experiment life as a natural way, instead of just repriming everything. And also we give them a grounding a sense where they feel grounded, where they feel balanced, and they can act and be better in this life. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And this is your first panel with us. We're excited to have you.
Yes, I'm super excited too. I'm here in California, so I was searching for a more connection, more community, and I found you, and I was like, I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, it's great. Excited to have you. Let's see, we had another Alicia just join. We have another practitioner that's joining us that may have just joined just now. Oh, yes. Let me get you renamed briefly, and then we will have you leap up and do an introduction. We're doing 2 to 3 minute introductions. And let me.
Are you renaming me or should I?
I'm doing it right now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. And then I'll pull you up here on the panel. Great. Yeah, so you do a 2 or 3 minute introduction. Tell us about all that you do and how you're focusing on the panel today, medical intuition for people and animals and animal communication.
Sure. Well, I do a lot of animal communication. I'm also a Reiki energy healer. I've got all kinds of offerings, but a lot of what I do is just talk to pets and kind of figure out either what is going on for your pet, or more often than not, our pets are here to help us in some way possible. So they have a lot to say about us too. And that is what I do. So I'm offering one-on-one sessions. I've got a little Free to Love program, which works on clearing out blockages and then bringing in new love of anything. It doesn't have to be romantic. And that's the gist of it.
That's great. And just tell us your name too. I don't remember if you mentioned it right in the beginning.
Oh, sorry. Yes, my name's Alicia Rose, and I own the Rose Composite. And so, if you're interested in more information, you can reach out through theroseco.co.
Great. And then if I can ask just a little bit, so you share a little bit more. Can you say a little bit more of maybe how did you get started working with animals, and how does the awareness of what to do with them, how does that appear for you?
Sure. I was lucky enough to be naturally psychic when I came into this world. And I had a friend who was going to Tucson for an animal communication course and invited me along. And I was right there beside her. And after that, I just felt even more connected with animals. It's always been a passion of mine. And I really fell in love with this line of work.
Great, thank you. All right, so yeah, 5 of us on the panel today. I'm also on the panel and might not be addressing as many questions as the other 4 practitioners. I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader. I don't read eyes for health. I read eyes for reading your soul and understanding your soul purpose and your path. I do body psychology as well, and I might pick up some things from that. Our body gives us messages all the time. It gives messages that anyone can see and interpret from the outside as well, a lot of different things. And there are ways of shifting our body to shift ways that we're stuck. I use my work for matchmaking, helping people make choices about who they connect with and what they do, and other people they connect with while they do all these things. So they feel the most alive in alignment with their soul path. And yeah, it's excited to share my work too. You can learn more about me at LaureliShimayo.com. We have kitties and puppies joining the call. My website is LaureliShimayo.com, and we've got lots more people joining us. Exciting. And practitioners, have you thought of anything else about your backgrounds that you want to share? Go ahead and jump in and share. I'm just going to put our information in the chat again too for everyone, and I'll read off the fine print again too before we start and set the stage for how we answer questions. Just practitioners, anything else you want to share? Go ahead and jump in if there's something.
I forgot to share my website, which is just draubreywallace.com. So my first name is Aubrey, A-U-B-R-E-Y, and Wallace, W-A-L-L-A-C-E.com.
Great, great. And the information for how to pay to ask a question is there in the chat. If anyone wants to do that. Yeah, practitioners, anything else you want to share?
Yeah, I'll also introduce, I have my little cat Monkey here. He helps me out a lot. He actually just followed me home one day about 10 years ago. And so as much as I love the animals, I feel a real strong energy connection, and he always seems to come in and tell me little messages. So if you ever hear a little meow or something, he's probably just seconding a point.
Is it your cat? I know Donna's got several dogs that might be participating at some point. Right. So I'm going to go ahead and just read the fine print again for those of you that just joined. By participating in this event, you understand that most of us are not medical doctors, and that the medical doctors are not appearing here as medical doctors. We're not giving medical advice. The attendee, you further agree that the information gained from this event is for educational purposes only. Please seek allopathic medical attention if needed. You indemnify MeWe fairs and practitioners on the panel from any results related to the application of these educational materials in practice. Thanks so much for working with us with our fine print. All right, and more messages are coming in. Let's see. So before we start answering questions, and I don't know if we have any questions in line yet, we may get to address some other topics or answer our own questions first. Yeah, maybe no questions in line yet. So this is recorded and will be published online. So keep in mind when you ask a question, if we go deeper than you want us to go, or we start talking about topics that you don't want us talking about here in this recorded public format, please interrupt us and let us know. We're here to honor you in our responses. This is a great opportunity to learn from all that is asked and all that is answered. I recommend you get something to write with, something to write on, and whatever appears while we're having the event. Take notes, draw. There may be information that's coming through you, and it's a great opportunity to get validation that if we're sharing similar things as what's coming through you, like you're on the track that other practitioners are on. You, of course, may have other things come through you that we happen to not mention. Totally valid. If you, oh, great, we have a question that's coming in. Thanks so much. And then also, we request that you allow the attendee to stay up on the panel while we're answering questions. If something does come through you for the person that asks, please wait until we're done answering. And then if you want, you can private chat them and ask if they'd like to hear what came through you. And please honor whatever they would, practice consent, honor whatever it is they share. They may feel full and may not want anything else right now. Please honor that and trust that it's not about you. Okay, great. Yeah, so let me put the information in the chat again so that people know how to ask a question. We have interest coming in. Here is, oh yeah, and I'll go over and explain it. Okay, let's see, I'll put it in for everybody too. So it's free to be here. So it's great for you to be here, be in the space, learn, practice your intuition and all those things. And then we, to support us doing the event, the logistics and the marketing and all those kinds of things, we request that you pay to ask us a question. It's sliding scale, so it's up to you how much you pay. The general sliding scale is 20 to 28. So 24 sustains our events, 28 supports others. So you're paying a little extra so that we can support others who need support. And those who need support, it's $20 a question. If you're Black, Indigenous, or another person of color, we charge you only $12 as a step of making reparations. The way we're trying to all hold this together for each other. Yeah, so you can pay by PayPal or Venmo. The information is right there in the chat. It is, PayPal me /Laureli Shimayo or Venmo at Laureli Shimayo. And you can also pay by Square on my phone if you need to do that. And all right, great. And Hannah, you're welcome to come online and come up on stage if you want, or we can just answer your questions from the chat too. It's up to you. if you want to come up on the stage. And if you want to come up,
Sure.
video. Okay, great. All right. And you're also a practitioner too. So great. Like we do this within the community. Sometimes we totally all support each other. All right, great. So what is you want to speak to your questions so everyone can hear, feel.
Okay. So I also do some animal communication, but what I think a lot of us know is that sometimes with your own loved ones, your own thoughts and opinions can get in the way. So I have my black kitty, Zoe, who I know is trying to communicate with me, but I feel like I might be missing part of the message. So it's just those of you that are animal communicators, you kind of tune in and see what's going on with her. She's about 6 years old. She's black, about kind of a tawny color. And of course, I can always do a picture, but I did hear that you guys get sucked in by the sweet little eyes, which I totally understand.
And we can always do this in phases too. We can leave it really open, and then as we go along, if some of the practitioners want to know a little bit more like symptoms or things like that, we can do that after.
Yeah, I was just hoping for some general messages because there are some symptoms, but it seems like the symptoms, while they could be medical, I don't feel like they're medical. And so I don't want to sway what the answers might be, because that's what's happened with a few of the other people I've worked with, I feel like.
Great. Yeah, so thanks everyone for being patient with us while information is arriving. We've got another question in line after yours. Okay, Donna, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, take 3 minutes or so.
I know exactly what you mean about trying to read your own animals. What I got immediately from Zoe was that, and this is not meant to say anything about how you practice or anything, but she's saying she really wants you to push out on your own and to be more assured of yourself. And she said that by you thinking that you need her input, you're limiting the unfolding of your own intuitiveness. She said she is your familiar, if you know what that is, a witch's familiar cat.
Yeah.
You've been together many lifetimes. And she said in this lifetime, of course, we all know animals find us, which she obviously did if she came into your life. And she's just emphasizing that you don't really need to read her, quote unquote. You just need to, at this time in your life and her lifetime, you just need to feel her. And if you will just put your hand down on her shoulders and feel that energy emanating up from her shoulders, her aural layers, you'll be as totally in tune with her. So anytime you want to absorb what she has, do that. Okay.
Okay.
Great, thanks, Donna.
Sorry, there's a dog behind me in my chair.
Great, yeah. So other practitioners, if you have something, go ahead. You can raise your hand in Zoom if we've got a line, or if no one's in line, just go ahead and unmute.
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit about what I picked up. She came through and I'm sensing something like in her stomach on the right side. And I feel like it's less a physical or medical thing and more related to her solar plexus chakra. They're pretty similar in pets. And so a lot about kind of control and power and maybe the dynamic and the perspective of that. So kind of echoing what Donna had said, if you're really trying to almost like force some sort of communication or force, I don't know if you do healing or anything like that, I would say just maybe kind of ease up and kind of rest into it, because usually when we're in a more relaxed state, that's when we are more open and perceptive to what's coming through.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Anyone else have any messages for Hannah? Go ahead, Dr. Aubrey.
I will disclaimer again, I did get some medical information, but I'm not an animal breed. So
Makes you feel better. We have a vet appointment on Tuesday just to be safe. So
wonderful. Well, it actually just resonated a little bit with the other two. I got that there was a third chakra imbalance, but for me, it was allergy, empathy, and environment, primarily environmental allergies, possibly to grass. And then I felt a lot of empathic picking up from the cat. I don't know if she does that or not, but I felt it in her throat and fifth chakra area, which I think is her strength. So she's trying to express to you and about expression. And then I felt like she's picking up emotions from her environment. So she might need a little bit to clear that out, space to clear that out. That was it.
perfect. Yeah, it's overall she's very healthy, and I rarely clear her because she tells me that she's fine. And she doesn't want that type of like she clears herself, right? Is what she says. But lately she just will a couple times look me dead in the eye and then pee on the dog beds. Humorous when it's not your cat. Still kind of humorous, but also frustrating. So I know that there's some stuff going on. As far as I can tell, it's only on the dog beds because it's very clearly it, there's no, let's just say, like, there's no shame in her game, right? You know, like when other, like animals are sick, I've noticed a lot of times that they might hide or they're embarrassed about what they're doing, but she wants to make sure that I see that she's doing it. So I want to see if there's any other messages that I wasn't picking up on. So thank you, ladies.
And Donna's got some more. Go ahead, Donna.
I just wanted to add one more thing. When Alicia was finished talking, I saw your kitty just jump up on her back legs or arms up like that. Thank heaven she finally got it. So I guess what Alicia was saying is right on for you.
Yeah, and if I can just add on to that, because what Aubrey had said as well about swallowing, I had actually written down on my notes about digestion and swallowing the situation. So I don't know if maybe those dogs are new to the environment or something like that might be going on, or if there's just been a shift. It definitely sounds like she's getting used to some sort of change in your household.
Okay, it could be my husband's job.
Oh, yep, that would do it.
Yeah, 'cause
Absolutely.
everything else for the last 6 years has been the same. The doggies were here first.
Yeah.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, and I thought that it was she was upset about my husband's job and with the dogs, and I know she wants to be an outside kitty, but we have coyotes. So there's a little power struggle there with her. She doesn't understand. So thanks, ladies.
Yeah, I just want to jump in. Only if something's here, Alicia or Donna, is there anything that you want to share or like to be communicated with a kitty about going outside, or like anything for Hannah around that? I know sometimes that shows up.
I just wanted to add one more thing that she just showed me. She has her nose pressed up against the window and she says, "Do not worry about me. I can take them all on." The coyotes she's talking about. So she's pretty self-important, I guess. I don't know. That's not the right word for an animal. Honor them, but she's very assured of herself, I should say. Yeah, she's cool kitty.
Yeah, she's very strong, and I joke and tell people that I don't either. My cats, I don't think they know that they're actually cats. They feel like they're much bigger beings that can take on the world.
I can add something. Hannah, how do you feel with change and taking risk in your personal life?
Uh, I mean, for the most part, I'm fine with it. So I make changes and go after stuff all the time. But this job with that my husband took last year is definitely a different dynamic for him.
And I would just add to that, that cats are like sponges. They will pick up every nuance of energy and emotional and try to take it away from you or your husband to try to balance the house and to make it better for you. She'll take that on and try to absorb it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at least 2 of the times when it's been pretty blatant that she's peed on the bed, my husband's had a pretty rough day at work.
Mm-hmm. I feel that she's absorbing all the emotions, the fear, the frustrations that are going on. That is never easy to take risks to, adapt to a new environment. And she's picking up on all those things, and it's kind of letting you know that, hey, this is not my environment. I'm stressing out.
Yeah, I know they all do take it on. It was just these symptoms are relatively new compared to, considering how long he's been at his job. So I just want to make sure that there wasn't anything else I was missing. But yeah, she does take him on.
Could I just add one more thing before we go, Lorelei? And that is, I would say in all the animals that I read, if they do start urinating outside the box, 99% of the time, they have a bladder infection or a kidney stone, bladder stones. So if she keeps that up, she may be staring at you, trying to say, "Look, I'm sick. This is what I'm going to do to make you look at me while I'm sick." And I would take her to the vet and have her tested to see if that's a problem. If not, then she's absorbing from you guys.
Oh, she has an appointment on Tuesday just to make sure.
Good. That'll be perfect.
Yeah, I always like to verify and still work on the energy and emotional component. Because even if it is a urinary tract infection, it was caused because of the energetic stuff to clear out. So kind of like the chicken and the egg. Don't know which one came first, but they both they don't both have to go in that case. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm just going to mention too, like, and right now, is something coming in for me or not? It just sounds like there are a number of different things that your cat might feel frustrated with, that Zoe might feel frustrated about. So some of the things are about Zoe and Zoe's life, and there might be something physical that's uncomfortable, and your husband's job. And it just sounds like it might be that Zoe is the one in the house that has the easiest time expressing the frustration, and anger. And so Zoe's doing something where really Zoe's trying to get other people to take action also. So I don't know if there's something that your husband can take action with in terms of his job to change something up or say no to someone or something, or
Taking action, that's the key phrase. So I'm leaning more into my human design as a manifester. It's all about that initiating energy. And the cats were pushing me about something that I was supposed to create that I didn't finish.
Yeah, so that's why. So I wonder, like, if there's something that's needing to move forward or change that Zoe might be picking up on that. Yeah.
Perfect.
Hannah, one other thing that you can always do is, and this as an animal communicator, is you can have your husband speak to her directly and say, "This is not your problem. I'm a big boy. I can take care of myself. You just need to relax." And, so you verify that it's not her problem and that she can let go of it, because they will honor that if you tell them.
Yeah, I've had him do that with the dogs, but I haven't had him do that with Zoe yet. So that's a good reminder.
All right, great. Thanks so much, Hannah, for jumping in, and maybe you can make it on the next animal panel.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
All right, we've got Matt, Faith, and maybe JC in line. Matt, do you want to jump up here on all right, here we go. Welcome, Matt. You're jumping right in. Let's get you unmuted. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So I've had this issue of chronic hives for like 10 years now. It's an autoimmune condition, and it'll go into remission for a while when we kind of clear up the system with maybe like heavy metals or something else that's kind of poking at my system, my immune system. But this last bout has been going on for probably about 6 months. And I've been trying to deal with it more kind of metaphysically as to like, okay, what is my body trying to tell me? Because yeah, I guess that's a process I'm in right now of like trying to listen to what's happening, but it's hard not to take medication because it drives me crazy if they're flaring all over my body. So, and they get really angry. And I know there's some anger involved that I don't express well.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for your question. That's definitely one association I always make with all kinds of things that make us want to scratch. Yeah, it's anger. And it can be yes and no. It doesn't always have to be no. It can be yes, of wanting to say yes to something that like, yes, I want that too. That actually is connected to anger. So yeah, just anything about boundaries or something that you want or don't want. Yeah, just moving things, shifting the energy, like getting something flowing where it's stuck, or I just don't know. But
Well, yeah, and I've lived a kind of very small, confined, contained life. And I feel like I'm trying to get bigger. Like I'm trying to live more into my space and my skin. Part of that is like coming out as a gay man. Like that's been a kind of a long process. So that's just another, I feel like as I've been almost like this past 10 years, it's kind of been in that process. So
yeah, that phrase that you just said, live in my skin, is really interesting. Yeah. Yeah, and go ahead, practitioners. Yeah, Dr. Aubrey, go ahead.
All right, for some reason, my raise a hand thing I can't find. Hi, Matt.
hey.
Hi. So I got a little bit of guidance, if it's okay for me to share that.
Please, yeah.
So I got in my number system, this came in as a 7-3, which in 7 is actually a stress system on you, or a system of stress on you. And I feel like that's about 63% of this problem. So there's a lot of it. And what they gave me there was location, which generally means that you're in the wrong place. You need to either move out of the cultural surrounding you're in, or the physical place on the earth that you are standing or living upon is strongly impacting your health. And then allergy is the other one, which is a really deep shock, I'm sure, for you. But that one I got environmental allergy, food allergy, and emotional allergy. So it does feel like you have across the board there a lot of allergic reaction. And emotional allergy for me means that it means when you walk through your life, there are things that kind of trigger us. And when we hit a trigger, we have kind of an overreaction to that trigger on an emotional level. And see if I can get a clear hit on what I hear for your emotional trigger is see me, right? So the body is, if you aren't able to say see me or live see me, your body will show up in a way that's saying see me. That feels like that's the emotional overreaction or allergy response. I also got this as chakra 12, which I don't usually get, so that's a little confusing to me. So I do, my guess is you're probably bringing something big in here if you're coming on a chakra 12 system. That is the imbalance. So I don't know if you came to this planet to do something fun, what that is about exactly, but that one's maybe a little more challenging to get at. Strength, though, is chakra 3 and 4. So I think you know who you are. And I think that you have a capacity to open your heart center and forgive and be here and connect, build your community, find your community. That's your strength. So those, the autoimmune component, I really just get the 7 again. So I would look strongly at 7 for me means a system of stress you're plugged into, or something that you didn't really do anything to cause, but is actually impacting you. So you want to see what stress you're plugging into, what stress is plugging into you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, interesting that the environmental thing too. I've been wondering if there's mold in my house and if that's been an issue that has been plaguing me the whole time. So that kind of answers that question in some sense. So yeah.
And usually they don't say location to me. They didn't say location, 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 which means move now.
Mm.
But they did say location. So I do think you might really look at your home location.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Who else has an answer for Matt? Yeah, go ahead, Donna. Let's get you unmuted. You're muted still. And everyone, I'll just say that if you click on reactions, the bottom, it's a long bar. That's how you raise hands. So go ahead, Donna, go ahead.
Sorry, Matt. I would just say, I started to say, as I'm sitting here looking at you on the screen, I am like, you are just wow, you are just a beautiful soul. And you have like, I can't even explain to you, like a glow around your head. And it just, you know, it's very steady. It's not jumping around. It's not ragged. It's just, you know, it's really put together. And also on your, I gotta say, I'm trying to do your, that shoulder. There's an entity there beside you, and it kind of goes like that, but it's white, and it's a helper. I couldn't tell you if it's a guide or one of your family, perhaps, that's already crossed over. That's all that, but they're very firmly on that shoulder and lending you energy. The only other thing I want to say, because I'm not a practitioner, but I did study with Lakota healing traditions at the reservations and things. And when you do get sick, one of the things that they do is to fill up, I don't know where you are, what part of the country you're in, or where you could get this, but what they do is fill up the tub with hot water, and then they cut fresh sage leaves, as many as you can stuff in there, and just soak in that. And it really relieves the itching. So I just bring that up. They do it with their babies too, when their babies get diaper rash and stuff. So
Cool. Well, thank you very much. Yeah.
I hope you feel better, dear.
Thank you.
Great. And just, yeah, Norma or Alicia, say your name right. Yeah. Alicia, go ahead.
Yeah, Matt, when you were talking, the very first thing I heard was that this is a past life thing. I think it's something that you have carried into this lifetime. So maybe try and, broaden your scope. Certainly there might be moles in your house or something that is impacting you here, but my sense is that is just something that is manifested again in this life, and the original issue came from another life into your body here now. And so what I would say from that perspective is that it really sounds like maybe there's this part of you that is working on your identity, and you as a soul, maybe you don't want to be here really. You've had bad experiences in the past on this earth plane and aren't really interested in being in a body again. And it sounds like that is part of your kind of lesson and gift in this lifetime, is to try it again and have a better experience, right? So you kind of have to address what happened in the past, like way long ago, right? And that might not sound so easy, but definitely taking some of those cleansing baths will help. Usually if there's a skin problem, we know that you don't feel comfortable in your skin. So try and seek out either people or activities or environments where you feel really safe and really comfortable, and start building that momentum. And especially with people, really try to find people who just make you, feel warm and cozy in your heart, because that is going to help you to feel more safe. And as that happens, your heart will open and you will be able to ground more deeply. And so then just lastly, try and focus on some of those grounding meditations, really bringing your energy down to earth, maybe walking outside with your bare feet. Always salt, sage, any kind of bath water would be really beneficial as well.
Thank you. Yeah, that resonates in a lot of ways. Yeah, I feel like I'm already in the process of finding people that are nurturing, and I definitely am not real fond of being in my body. And as I've started to sense more of the energy in my body, it's like kind of like I'll go into it and touch it and then like leave again. I'm like, ooh, that's too much. Like, yeah. So thank you. In the past life, that's new, but I do have the sense of like, why am I, almost like I don't understand why I don't, like I'm absorbing everything around me. Like it's almost like a pattern of like, why do I keep absorbing everything? What is this about? So yeah.
Yeah, so take some time and really reflect on what patterns occur, especially if you have similar situations with different people or different places, but it's kind of like the same story running again and again. And that will really link back to what that original situation is that you need to work on healing, and help you to kind of play that out. I'm really getting a sense of like maybe someone was betraying you in some way, and so you kind of have to kind of like forgive and both that person, but even more so like work on forgiving yourself for making that decision to trust that person, maybe against your better judgment.
I feel like I'm in a process of trying to figure out what forgiveness means, and for myself and for other people. And again, right on. I feel like I'm right in kind of in the middle of like, what does that look like? What is forgiveness?
Yeah, and another tactic you might try, I feel like I'm going to butcher the name, but it's a Hawaiian practice, Ho'onopono. Does someone know that word better?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you. And you can find the English translation, and it's something along the lines of, I love you, thank you, I forgive you, I'm sorry. And if you can kind of work on that mantra and on that chant, either in the Hawaiian terminology or the English, whatever resonates better with you, kind of really bringing that into your body, that will help you on the cellular level to heal that without necessarily knowing what is going on.
Great, thank you.
Great. It sounds like, oh, let's say Norma, and then we'll go back to Donna.
Yes. Hi, Matt. Thank you for being here and trusting us and share what is going on. And what I saw is your chakras. You are a passionate man, a loving. You give your heart like this without even ask anything. And you are there and you connect with people, but sometimes we don't connect with the right person, right? So it kind of being a pattern of giving everything from you and not receiving back and forth, right? So it creates this imbalance, which I also see on you, on yourself, and the cells or your body that is asking for what is going on. It is my fault. Sometimes we take the guilt, right? Sometimes we feel that is something going on with me. I saw that your inner child there, a little bit sad, kind of frustrated, like I just want to be here. I just want to connect. And kind of the blood, your body is kind of, I don't know, you can let me know, is the anger kind of feels like fire. Like it's so strong on you that it's just kind of like, it's burning inside, right? So it's this imbalance that is going on for all these emotions, all these situations that you've been through, and your heart once is ready, you are ready emotionally and physically and spiritually to come to the point of healing. I want to find myself. I want to know who truly I am. When you mentioned the skin, I'm like, yes, is what is going on, but we need to do some work, as the other colleagues say, that work, that cleansing of the chakras, removing that trauma that being stuck there, and so you can just be you, Matt, when you're on a skin and feeling in that connection of from your mind, your heart, and your spirit and your body. Is kind of that connection that you are looking for, and it's kind of unbalanced or it's not connecting with each other.
Yeah, that sounds beautiful. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, go ahead, Donna.
Matt, I had two things that I don't work with people very often at all, but one of the things that I prepare myself each time I do an animal reading is that I go out and I stand on the grass, or if it isn't snow, I try to stand in my bare feet. And what there's a thing that you can do, and you just put your hand, it's very simple, and you just put your hands up and you just say, please, all non-positive energy from me to the center of the earth to be transmuted into love. Just go like that. And that is what's called grounding. People do it all different ways, but I'm just saying that's my simple way. And then you can also ask that all your chakras be spinning correctly. Then another thing that you can do is you can ask spirit, your guides, to balance you, and you ask them to balance you left and right, anterior, posterior, that's front to back, and as above, so below. And then, so you're balanced in all those ways. And then the most important thing is ask your guides and your angels to bring a protective, loving ball of light around you. And you can do it every day if you want to. It should last quite a while, but you can, if you do that, you will absolutely feel that sensation of being protected. I know and the last thing, I don't mean to talk so long, but the last thing, if you can find a practitioner near you that can do emotional freedom technique tapping, I swear to you, it works. I do it on animals. I know it works on people. And I've known many people that have it done. It doesn't take very long, maybe 15, 20 minutes, but it's just like, they go like that. I know I'm afraid. I'm deeply loved.
I've actually played with that a little bit. There was like an online conference just like about a month ago that I watched. And so, yeah, it's kind of a new thing for me too.
If you find it, you can do it yourself. If you can find it on YouTube, there's lots of videos on how to do it. You can do it yourself, but it's nicer if you're a professional or somebody that knows how to do it. You can just sit back and allow the energy to take part. But it's wonderful. It's a really it just makes you. Okay. So allows you to be free. Okay.
And can I ask just one more quick question? So guides to me are a new thing. And so I'm still trying to figure out like what it is, how to connect with those. Like I'm aware that I have them, but I'm still kind of trying to figure out how to communicate.
Dear one, you don't have to connect. They're right there with you all the time, constantly. The angels and your guides are with you all the time. You don't need to know their names. You don't need to know what they look like. You just accept that they're there, ask them to come in. Okay. And if you feel like you need a particular, energetic help that day or something, say, just please come in and help me make this decision or whatever. But they're with you all the time. They never leave. And you just trust that they're there. You don't have to see them. Do you have any psychic abilities like intuitiveness? Can you feel? Can you smell?
Yeah, I'm starting to. Yeah, I'm starting to feel that. Yeah, I'm definitely an empathic person, and I've read people kind of all the time without knowing it. And so now I'm trying to actually focus on like what does that mean? Yeah.
How do you read them? Do you just know what it is, or do you see it physically?
I just know. Like a conversation with somebody about a person, and I'll just be saying these things, and I'm like, I don't know where this came from.
So we have a budding psychic in our group. You go that path, dear. It's coming. Yeah, you continue on that. Get into a group I forgot who said to do that, but get into a safe group that you feel is knowledgeable and work and learn, because you will grow into that. Yeah. You're going to make, I told you at the very beginning, you're a beautiful person. You're going to go right into being one of the light workers. So
thank you. Thank you so much.
I'll just mention too, I've heard other practitioners say that if you're wanting to have more of an explicit physical connection with your guides, you can ask them to send you like signal or some way that they let you know that they're here. And so that can show up in the physical world if that's of assistance to you. And Alicia has something to share.
Yeah, actually, you and Donna both said it, but I really just want to drive this point home. Because of your free will, you have to ask them to come and help you and intervene. So make sure that you are asking if you want that support, if you want that help, whether it's something specific or just in general.
Cool. Thank you.
Just adding the last piece, what I do with my clients after doing a healing and be more connected with their intuition, I always ask them to have a glass with water and a candle on their place in a sacred space, and be that space for you to connect with them, acknowledging them and say, I'm here. I'm open to hear your message. Show me the way that we can communicate. And, sometimes in the healings, they come there and helping you to heal. They come and communicate and guide me. For example, Matt needs this, so I will do it. And Matt needs that. Okay. And then it becomes that connection with you, but you gotta acknowledge them and say, I'm here. I want to be with you. I want you to be part of my life as well.
Thank you.
Great, thanks, Norma. Dr. Aubrey has one more thing too.
Muted.
Unmute first. I was trying to just, I don't get chakra 12 as an imbalance. That's really unusual for me. So when I asked about it, they said this is your galactic tribe. And your galactic tribe is actually imbalancing you right now. The other thing I heard was, how would I explain that? What you already are doing intuitively, you're assuming is not connecting to them, and you've already always been. So you might be looking for something you've already been doing since birth. That's just who you are as a galactic energy, instead of actually being a guide. These are your family, right? They're a star family. I also, and please forgive me, I don't know this. I kept seeing cat beings. Does anyone know what cat beings are? Like they were like tall people that look like cats. So I might just be in a cat group, so I'll be quiet.
Go ahead, yeah, Alicia, jump in.
Yeah, no, those actually are a type of alien beings, and most common in history, you'll see them through, in Egyptian culture, they had a goddess called Sekhmet, and it's a lion-headed person, basically. And so if you do want to seek that out, they are, depending on what history you read, they are in some areas of history thought to be an alien being that is kind of a lion, cat, panther, human hybrid of alien species.
I've always had a connection with like big cats, like tigers, lions. So yeah. And also I was doing a visualization the other day, and I had this dark cat kind of come out of my dantian and soothe me. So that's very interesting that, yeah, you came up with cat beings.
And we have
So
a panel.
Oh, sorry.
I just said we had a panel that was unrelated theme, so I'll go dig out the panel too, the past
Yeah,
panel.
great. Thank you.
Yeah, there are theories out there that were kind of alien mutts. So you might be some sort of descendant of that alien species, if you choose to believe that.
That's an alien mutt. That's a new term for me. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Matt.
Thanks,
Matt,
everybody.
leaping in wholeheartedly, like every day, just about since finding us. Faith is next. Faith, we want to turn on your video. Okay, great. Yeah, let's get you up here. Hi.
Thanks everybody for being here. This is really fun, and I want to ask so many more questions than just one.
And you can ask like a blending of questions, and we'll just choose how we answer. So you can give us several at one time if you want.
Oh, don't open it up like that. So my question is about my cat Liger, who is a tabby, and she has like a heart-shaped white spot on her chest, and she's got 4 dipped paws. So I also call her a couple of other names pretty regularly, if that helps. But Booby is one of them. So she is christened Booby a lot. So my question is, she and I just moved to a new region, and we're transient people in a way. Like I'll be here for 3 months and then we'll move on to another place probably. But I'm just wondering, like, is she happy here? And she's got like a little bit of an obsession with the litter box. She was peeing in the bathroom, and so I added a litter box and that seemed to solve the problem. But now she like frequently goes to the little litter box and just like, I don't think she does anything there. She just jumps in and out. So is that pathological?
Great. So is she happy here, and any insight into that behavior? Go ahead, Dr. Donna. Dr. Donna, you're muted. Dr. Donna.
Darn it.
I was stealing you and I was also muted. Sorry.
As I said earlier, 99% of the time when I do my readings with my animals, if there's a problem with the litter box, they have something wrong. Bladder infection, crystals in their bladder, kidney problems. First thing you need to do is go to the vet, absolutely. And of course, she moving as she does and adapting, she's probably is adapting quite well, but it adds a little bit of stress to them. And so where she might not have gotten a bladder infection before, by you moving every 3 months or so. Do you tell her you're going to move? I mean, do you actually talk to her and say, listen, you know, we're going to be here 2 more nights, and then we're going to get in the car and we're going to go to this new place. And you're really going to like it because it has a big living room, and picture it in your head and say, and we're going to be there for a while, so everything will be fine. And I'll keep you safe. So, you know, so it kind of, you think they're not listening and they don't know, but they pick up on absolutely everything. She knows what you're thinking, but she needs, you know, they need to be told. Whether you don't have to talk out loud if you don't want to. You can just say it in mind to her if you want to do it. And when you're gone, when you first get to a new place, when you're gone, do you send her mind pictures during the day to show her where you are and what you're doing, so she's not upset that you're gone? Because just dumped her in a new place and she's by herself. So those are all, it's kind of respecting them as an individual, unique being. Much as you would a child or a brother or a sister, you say, oh, hey, I'm going to work. I'm going to go over and get ice cream at lunchtime, stuff like that, you know, and say, I'll be home at supper time, you know, so that they know the routine, they get comfortable and they trust you to take care of them.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that mind pictures during the day, because I think about her frequently, and I've often said, I wish I could text my cat. So
you can Zoom her.
Great. All right. Who else has something for Faith? Go ahead, Dr. Aubrey.
Hi, Faith. I can't read the cat actually, but what I felt when you were talking, just as you were talking, I felt you have a very strong crown chakra, darling. And what I felt is you feel kind of like you're going in and out of the litter box, so to speak. Like your energy is kind of going up and then back in, and then up and then back in. And it didn't seem like you're coming down and going with the flow, you know? So I don't know if she's trying to just show you a reflection of that, possibly.
that's so interesting, because I have issues in that way. I mean, I'm a nurse, and so I probably have like this chronic, like I'm holding my urine all the time, you know, and I've just, I mean, this is probably TMI, but it's just like, I'm colonized with some bacteria in my bladder. I know I am. And it's not causing an infection, but it's just like malodorous. It's always been there.
About the energetic of the bladder. I think the energy of the bladder is one of containing your power. So containing your excitement, allowing yourself to just feel that flow, feel the water of your life, feel that second chakra, right? And I think having a 7th chakra strong for you is good. That's a good thing for you. But every once in a while, give yourself a little moment of delicious, right? You want to come in and get some delicious in there and feel.
Mhm.
That will, then you can enjoy the litter box bedroom, but you can enjoy the bathroom. You can enjoy your 2nd chakra adventures a little bit more thoroughly, right?
Thank you.
Great, thank you. See if Norma or Alicia has anything, or Dr. Donna, if there's something else you want to add. Oh, Alicia's got something. Go ahead.
Yeah, mine was not as clear of a connection. So I really appreciate what Donna and Aubrey had said. What I heard first was parasite, and then that there's something in the water. And I didn't get, because I double checked on the parasite and they're like, well, no, it's just kind of like that. So I wouldn't, raise the flag or anything. And so it was really interesting when you said that you thought you might have a bacterial thing going on in your bladder. Because our pets will, I know we talked about this a little earlier, our pets will pick up our own energetic issues and carry those for us. And so I kind of tried to ask about it. And the way I usually hear messages are in stories that can kind of relay the same message. And I've done this a few times. I've gone to Indonesia, I've gone to Mexico, and sometimes it's not that the water is bad, but your system isn't used to it. So you're having a negative reaction to the water. And especially since you just moved, maybe just kind of think about the water that you're giving your pet and what Liger is getting. I know it seems a little fruity to be like filtering your cat's water, but if that's something you're open to, you might consider it.
I do give her my Brita filtered water, but also I've been putting some Miralax in there because I'm afraid that she's constipated. With the obsession with the litter box, I'm like, oh, like maybe she's just constipated and she needs a little Miralax in her water. So that's funny that you mentioned the thing in the water because it's there.
Yeah. So maybe you're on the right track, but that might not be the right product. The other thing that I remember too, when I do energy healing with pets, they're so much smaller. They need a much smaller dosage. So maybe just tone it down a little bit.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Dr. Aubrey.
Also,
Oh, and then Norma.
I just wanted to support what Alicia was saying, at least in humans. There's energetic parasites come in when we leave our body, right? So if we're out of there, then stuff comes in to kind of give us an occupied space. So I don't know if it's a physical parasite or not, it might be, but you might look at, embodying helps with not having other things in there visiting.
Okay.
Great. And Norma, it sounded like you had something to share.
yes, hi Faith. One of the emotions that I got is fear. Is anything going on, or
With her or with me?
like both? It's kind of connected. So
Well,
underneath of
yeah, the fear thing. I mean, I've been like working this pandemic and now I'm kind of at this point where I'm like, should I maybe go home and go back to my roots in a city that I really can't stand anymore, but that my community is all there and I have a really strong community there, or in a job that I loved but is very traumatic for me. Like it is a trauma, like that's in the title, trauma hospital. So there's indecision and probably fear related to that. Like, will I make the right decision? Will I be happy? Will she be happy? And so fear regarding that. And I'm just like all up in my head about that. Totally. And very much so not in my body. Like I do need to do some body like activities, and I've been just forgetting anything below here, and then we're in this new area that we've been here a couple months, and like also coyotes are here. There are new other cats around for the first time and like that she's ever known. And so she's kind of obsessed with that and going outside. And sometimes I feel like am I holding her hostage? Does she have Stockholm syndrome? And like, just, I worry that, I'm keeping her against her will. But I feed her, so, she stays.
And just acknowledging that the past 2-3 years it's been really traumatic, really hard for us as a human beings, right? And then for you even worse, right? Working as a hospital, finding all these experiences every single day.
Yeah.
Right? And it's a lot to hold on the physical body, emotionally and spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
You are holding way too much. As I don't remember who said, I think Dr. Donna, right? The holding of the urine, right? Why we hold there, right? The sense of power. Maybe we're going to miss out something, the sense of responsibility, right? That we want to be there to help others. And sometimes we put ourselves behind.
Always, almost always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of also, I would call it like a call, a wake up call, and say, what is going on? How is all this is affecting us? Our bodies reacting somehow. How can we take care of ourselves? How can we start to heal ourselves? Because if we continue, it will come to that point that our bodies will collapse as well. There is so much trauma that we can hold on, and we are on time to move on and do something different, right? To take care of ourselves in that sense, to bring more balance in ourselves, the body, mind, and the heart connection.
Thank you.
I just mention briefly when you talked about the possibility of going back there and the name of the hospital, and just right, I feel a grieving for your connection with the people that you're not able to experience, and the idea of going back, like I feel in me, like I feel so much weight and pain, and like for me, I wouldn't want you to go back. It's like the way it shows up in me, and I believe that our bodies are so important for making decisions, and like imagining going back there, that may be part of like your self-protecting yourself of going out of your body, and so for me, one way I make decisions is with my body, like a whole body muscle test of, I go, but well, set a baseline first. So think about something that you love, right? So what is it that you love, and how do you feel in your body, imagining that thing that you love? And then think about something you really don't like to do, and you had to do that again and again. And what is that like in your body? So that's like the yes and the no, right? And so then shaking, then getting loose to start over, and then choosing spots on the floor and step, like I go back to blah, 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 blah. And how do you feel in your body, right? And step back. And right, I don't go back there. And how do you feel? And it's the artist tuning the question, like I consider going back there in a year from now, right? Or just, it's like I stay where I am. Just play with those different things. And so you need your body to answer that question. So that may help you get in touch with your body, thinking about what you enjoy and what you don't enjoy. Don't choose something that's so bad that you don't enjoy that you want to just leave. Yeah, and then let your body give you some information. Use the knowledge that's here.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. Yeah, that I think would be super helpful. I'll have to do that. And I also actually, when you were talking, I felt like, oh my gosh, there's some grief there. There's some real grief at that place, and my community being there, and like so much loss. It's just, I feel that in my body when I think about it.
Yeah. And so he's being with that before you explore any questions, and letting the waves of that and all the stages of that. That's, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. All right. Anyone have anything else for Faith? Donna, go ahead. You got to unmute first, though.
Sorry. I just wanted to let you know that when you ask about how your kitty would be okay, where you were going next or whatever. And I can't remember the exact words, but there's an old country western song that goes, "I go where the south wind blows." Is that the right country western song? And she was basically saying she'll follow you. Everything's fine. I go where the south wind blows or something like that. So she was meaning that wherever you go, she goes, and she'll be, so that, but just so you know that she'll adapt quite nicely as long as you're there.
Thank you. I felt that too. So it's nice to have that like validated.
Great.
Thank you all so much.
You're very welcome. Thanks, Faith. Thanks, practitioners.
Thank you, Faith.
All right. Next, we have JC. And I'm having some strange environmental allergy while we're doing this that I have not had so far this season. So yeah, so interesting. Timing. Where is JC?
I'm here. I'm just on voice.
Oh, just on voice. Okay. Sure.
If
You
that's
can
okay.
ask just on voice. Go ahead.
Okay. So yeah,
Oh, and if there's
I-
anything you can do to make your voice a little louder, if you can get a little closer to the
Okay.
microphone.
you know what? I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
We can, yeah. We're turning up volume.
Okay. Sorry about that. I don't. It's a different headset. So I just am so happy to run into this group. It's kind of exciting. So I just wanted to ask. I think first of all, Laureli, you mentioned the way you kind of stand and let your body make decisions. I was recently watching the Marie Kondo method, how she cleans her home. Have you ever? I don't know if you've ever seen that, but she goes through her drawers and whatnot, and picks up things and says, "Does this bring me joy?" No, and throws it away. So I appreciated that, and I think I guess that applies to more than just cleaning out your drawers. So that. Anyway, that's what came to mind. So my question is just medically, is there anything that I need to know medically? And just I've been in a career for well over 20 years, and I'm getting ready to transition to something else. I'm not exactly sure what. A lot of different options. But yeah, I just kind of not concerned, but physically want to be okay. I feel pretty good. So but the adjusting careers is going to be quite a change. So anyway.
Okay, thanks. I'm taking notes and I'll put it in the chat for the practitioners too. It sounds like you know that adjusting careers will be a big change. And you said that you said, I want to be okay. I feel pretty good. It sounds like there's some ways that you don't. It's fine. You don't have to say anything. I just, your energy feels very wobbly as you're speaking about this. So I know something's here. But I interpret that as something's here.
I didn't quite catch that. I didn't mean to say. I said something that I don't want to change.
No. Let me, I'll put it in the chat. So I took some notes. I put it in the chat if the practitioners want to read it, if they had trouble hearing. You said, this is what I heard. I want to be okay. I feel pretty good. It sounded like you don't know that you feel okay in your body. That's what you were referring to.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've had some medical issues in the past. So.
And maybe are you worried that with the transition that some things might come up again, or that it's just that much more? It sounds like transitioning careers is going to be challenging. Like, there's something to face about this.
I would like to transition. I think I'm kind of okay with transitioning, not to be waffling again. Kind of okay is kind of on the fence, but yeah, I think that's going to be okay as long as physically I'm okay.
Okay. Well, Dr. Aubrey has something. So we'll start off there and then see what else.
All right. Hi, JC.
Hi.
Hi. So I guess sometimes when people don't ask a specific symptom question, I kind of do a little bit of a scan, and I hope that's okay.
Of course.
What I got for you is a sixth chakra, what I call a sixth chakra imbalance, which means that usually you're having difficulty finding harmony with your life, the life balance, life work balance, life balance is challenging for you. But I also felt a lot of sinus pressure, possibly some brain fog. They gave me pineal gland a little bit more. There seems like there may be some anxiety about digestive, hormonal, thyroid. So there's a lot of layers here, and your neck is very tight. But what I think the main thing I want to give you is that the sixth chakra goes out of balance generally when you're making a big change, right? Or you're before the big change. And so it's hard to kind of focus in. Probably I got fourth chakra is where you want to focus to get yourself through this. And that the fourth chakra for me generally represents your community or finding the heart group of people you feel you belong with. It also represents forgiveness. And I do feel like the thymus is yelling at me for some reason, so I may want to ask you any more specific to have digestive and hormonal and thymus all come up. None of them feel like sick. I need to say that I don't feel that going on, but thymus comes up strongly. And so if that's in the fourth chakra for me, and sometimes we will show symptoms in the area of our strength. So I'm curious a little bit if thymus is generally autoimmune or not, defining yourself energetically as separate from others. So I guess the question would be, do you have medical issues going on with autoimmune?
I've always had a thyroid issue, but I don't believe that holds me back, or that's really, it's not really, I don't want to say it's not really a problem, but
so for me, that the thymus, having the thymus be the primary, not the thyroid, doesn't mean you don't, it would be more like Hashimoto's than like a hypothyroid overt. And so my guess would be that you're looking at stress as the primary factor between all of those causing the heart chakra. Let me see if the guides give me anything else there. My
So
main
can,
thing,
ahead.
the main thing I want for you is to know that you want to ask for harmony in your life, right? So this would be meditate, probably would be the first guidance I would give you. So sit down, do some sort of practice of meditation on the regular, where you tap back in and specifically tap into your heart center, and or connect with other people that you love and feel like family with, even if it's your chosen family, so that they can help you stay balanced and get through some of this transition. I don't feel them. Yeah, I know you're in the transition. Usually that's a 7 for me. This is a 6 chakra. So there's something where you're dissociating from it, having a hard time staying harmonized with your balance.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Aubrey. Dr. Donna. Let's unmute.
Sorry, and Laureli. I just got this hit, and I have no idea what it means. If you can interpret it, that's great. But what I was shown was, it was kind of like a sidewalk, a very little narrow sidewalk. And you know what it looks like when a corgi dog, a little short-legged corgi dog's walking, like, but these weren't corgi legs, they were people legs, but people feet, little shoes with little ankles on. There was no body up above, but they were going, just going like that. And so I don't know if that means that you're going too fast, or you need to speed up, or you need exercise, or you don't need as much exercise. I don't know. That was the image that I was shown. So maybe some of the others can interpret for me.
Thank you.
So Donna, I got something, I didn't hear the exact pattern, but it had something to do with the speed at which she's going. So say more about the legs of what you saw.
They weren't legs, they were just shoes, little tiny shoes, like, you know, like a caterpillar would be go, but they were like two shoes. I mean, like somebody walking, but very short. I mean, not a short person. Like there was no body with it. There were just the shoes and an ankle, and they were just going like this, you know, just tripping along that sidewalk really quickly, like a little dog would be trotting along. And so I don't know if that. Let me just ask. I'm being told she needs to speed up the exercise regimen. That's just what I just got. So I don't know if that's something she does or she doesn't do, but that's what I was told. That's what I'm being told right now.
And I know I just also just listening to the JC, you're transitioning, but there's something about your energy that feels like it's wavering, and it almost feels like there's something that's wanting like a choice and a movement of your body. Like it, I don't know, to me, it's just somehow like getting your body into alignment and just going through this. Maybe I don't know, Dr. Aubrey, if you're picking up something else about it too, go ahead.
Was it a shuffling? I don't know if I was picking that up, but that sounded a little bit like a different autoimmune disease I don't need to bring into this reality, but
Please do. No, go ahead. What do you?
Well, Parkinson's is the primary autoimmune reaction when the dopamine goes down, and it's like you have to fall forward in your life, right? That you energetically fall forward and physically you fall forward in order to move. And I don't think you have Parkinson's. I did not feel that. If I'm wrong, let me know. But you might look at the energy of that you just have to get your momentum going, and then your feet will catch you. Okay. You want to just start going, start moving, and the feet will catch up. Because I feel like this is really throwing you off on your direction. So don't worry about it so much, just start moving. And then the feet will catch is kind of the sense I get. Hopefully that makes some sense.
It does. It is helpful. So, so a couple of things, if I may. My mom has Parkinson's, and it's painful. It's really she's just absolutely, she's lovely, but she's, you know, she's knee deep in it. And it's she's a little trapped. It sounds like you're familiar. Yeah. So yeah, I'm in that. I suppose if you know, I could be taking on some of that. You kind of take on that energy a little bit, or that piece, I don't know. But so she does have that, and I have had some medical issues myself. So I've gone through chemo and breast cancer, and just recently had hips replaced, and then I had another set. Those didn't take, so I had another set. So a number of things, but I'm okay, and I think I'm fine. And I'm afraid that that I'm going to that the cancer is going to come back, and I've kind of got this, and I'm transitioning. So there's kind of a lot going on, but I'm fine today. And that's my lovely neighbor calling me. But yeah, so and I've had somebody say, hey, come work with me. I'm going to teach all this stuff, and you can do this. And I can pretty much do whatever I want. I'm in a wonderful spot. I can go and work and do anything I want to do. But it is a little bit. Oh, I've been moving a little bit like molasses myself. So, yeah.
You know, I just read in the chat, you said a beautiful line there. I'm fine today. It seems like really resting into I'm fine today. There's something about trusting yourself. It sounds like you're moving from something that's not as good for your system to something that's better for your system, that's going to be better for all of you. It seems like there's something about trusting all of your being to take you through this, to get there. And resting into that you're fine today, not worrying about the future. And I'll just another body movement for this one, and do this in a way that's friendly to your body, is to sumo. So crouch like a sumo wrestler. So really have your energy in the lower part of your body. So, right. So you can see me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So your legs, and yeah. So you just want to do it in a way that's friendly to your knees and your back. And then as you feel grounded in here, and just think about all the things that are here for you as you're here in this position, it brings your energy here. And so usually people are in less fear, and we have more people joining us. And then as you feel stable here, you can start to think about like, oh, I wonder what's next, right? And step forward from that place. So it keeps your energy here right now. So it's not flying out into the future. Dr. Aubrey, go ahead.
That's so beautiful. Thank you, Laureli. Could I add to that, if it's thymus and you just went through a bunch of immune stuff, when you get into those spaces where you say, I'm okay right now I'm good, you might add something like, this is me. This is me right now. This is me. I am healthy, right? You're defining, this is me, that is not me. And in particular with your mom, it's real, that's our family, right? we don't necessarily not connect in our hearts. Just clarifying the difference between this is me, this is not me, in your energy.
Thank you.
Great.
Another thing that I would like to add, JC, if you love me, is the sense of self-worth. Do I am worthy of moving on? Do I am worthy of accepting healing in my body? Right? It's kind of, and you can let me know a battle between, do I am getting better, and how is my mom? Right?
Say that again, please. I couldn't.
Okay, so it's more like one of the emotions that I got is self-worth. Do I am worthy of accepting this healing of my body, the physical body? I am worthy of being okay when my mom is going through all this pain. It's kind of a battle between those things, and you know, some of the emotions of I don't know if in the past it was humiliation experiences that make you feel or kind of brought up some like, I'm not worthy for this, or maybe I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah. Thank you, Norma. Dr. Donna has something else too. Gotta unmute though. Gotta tease you. Gotta unmute.
Can you just put a hand up for me? I just wanted to say a couple of things. One is, I admire you so much. You have gone through so much. You are so incredibly strong. Oh my goodness sakes. I know very few people who have experienced everything that you've gone through. And so, you know, trust in yourself. You've done all of these, you've gotten through all of these crazy things. And here you are. And on your mom, I know maybe this isn't exactly how you feel, but my mom had dementia and was in a nursing home for 3 years. And it was the most horrible thing for me, because it's that feeling of helplessness. There was nothing I could do. There was nothing I could do. I mean, I visited her, but she didn't know me. And it's like, I wouldn't say it depleted me, but, you know, one time on the way home when I was driving and I was crying, and I heard a voice, and the voice said, this is not your life. This is not your choice. And so I was distinctly told by my guides that I needed to let my mom complete the path that she came to experience, you know, her divine contract that she did. So I don't know if that helps you at all dealing with your mom, but I just wanted you to know that you're learning from her experience too. It's part of your learning path to experience this with her. But you're strong. And if you want to make the move, boy, you go, girl, because you're perfectly capable of handling this. And I just feel like it would be really wonderful for you to do that. I'm not there to push you out the door, but I'm just feeling that you're just totally capable of doing that if you so choose. So good luck to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, JC, for your question. Thanks, practitioners, for your answers. All right, next we've got Van. If you want to turn on your video, I'll bring you up here on stage. Van, did you want to? Okay, great. Let's get you up here. All right. Hi, what is your question?
Thank you. My main language is not English, so I'm gonna try my best. My question is about my health. I have been getting like this rash all over my arms and legs, and I have seen different doctors. They have done different tests, and they say that they don't know what's going on. I struggle a lot at night when I want to sleep. I do Reiki on myself, and when I'm doing Reiki, I just feel like deeply sad. It's weird. It's like if I feel like sad, but I really don't know why. So I know it has been very hard for the last 5 years. When I moved here to the USA, it has been like very, very hard, but still like I'm thankful and happy to be here. I'm from Mexico, and the reason I came to the US is because I got married, but it was not a nice marriage, and I didn't know. So when I tried to, I'm gonna cry, when I tried to get close to friends and family, they were like, how come you miss us? If you miss us, you should be here, or you should have never left. Or it was hard for me to tell them that I was struggling a lot, because they were like, well, you had a big business in Mexico, you were teaching classes on Reiki, how come you didn't see it? So I don't know what's going on with my health. Like, doctors say that there's no like, they thought it could be lupus, I think is the word, but they said no, it was not lupus. And it's just like sometimes a deep pain inside my body, like warm knives. Sorry that I got emotional. I don't know why. Maybe because all of you are healers and I felt safe.
It's okay. It's so okay.
Oh, so that's what I started a business here in September. My only work here, besides working at the hospital during COVID, was working at a crystal shop, which I love. It's like my safe, sacred place. And I was really, really happy doing sessions here. I love them. Makes me feel so full. And even though like my marriage was very difficult, I was married to an American man, and I thought it was going to be amazing because he was, he was a psychologist. And I thought we could do like a great match. He was like 15 years older. So I thought he was going to be very mature. He told me he loved life and God, and everything was like very nice. But then he lost his license. It was revoked. So, well, they took his license away because of doing wrong practices. And that made him very mad. And I tried to understand him, but it was not like, okay, like he would be like, your English sucks, your communication is horrible. And I didn't feel okay with that. And it was not easy to talk to my family or friends because they were mad that I was not in Mexico. I was the one always like going everywhere with them. If someone needed me, I would be always there. Like I would keep all the family together, all the friends together, doing lots of things to help animals, to help the seniors. I was very active there and very happy, but it's just difficult. Now I love my life here, but I still feel like there's something not okay with me. Like, I don't know if it's with my health. And that's what I'm here to get your advice and your love. I mean, your loving healing. Thank you.
Yeah, I feel I'm so impacted by your story. And I so appreciate you getting away from the relationship that was not supporting you.
Yeah.
And surrounding yourself with so many other people here and work here that is a good fit for you, right? That's so good for your energy. And it sounds like when you were with your family in Mexico, it sounds like you put so much energy into taking care of so many other people too. There might be just that you did it in a great way as a practitioner, but maybe also that you took on so much and you held so much. And I think that maybe the people that were around you don't realize how much you did for them, like how much you were carrying.
Yeah.
So that makes sense?
Yeah, makes sense. They thought it was like an obligation. And when I left, they were angry. And I mean, I did it with all my love and I was happy to do it. But yeah, I just feel like when I don't feel okay, I don't like to be with people. Like I like to just stay by myself and heal because I don't feel like a good company at that moment. So I just prefer to be like alone, and I enjoy it. I really enjoy being at home with my dogs, with my books and my incense, and like I love it.
It sounds like you wanted to be able to share with someone and have someone understand and even though they might not have meant to do that, it sounds like all they did was complain, like that you did something wrong and that you
Or
were
like judge, yeah, like if you do Reiki, if you do that, how come you cannot fix you? Or how come you couldn't not see what was going to happen in your marriage? That was very hard. Like that was hard.
They're blaming you instead of supporting you.
I didn't know there was something called gaslight until I went to the counselor here and he told me that that was what he was doing, because it was like gaslighting. And it's hard to explain. I love Mexico with all my heart and I love our culture, but I know our culture could be very judgy. So sometimes I better not say anything. And when they ask like, oh, how are you? I'm like, oh, I'm doing good. Thank you. How about you? And then I feel like I don't want to share what I feel because it's not going to work. It's not okay.
Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, hey, well, so I know Dr. Aubrey had her hand up. Norma is Dr. Aubrey who wants to go. Norma, it's all right. We let Norma go and then Dr. Aubrey, or how do we? Okay, Norma, go ahead.
Okay, good. Thank you, Doctor. Bunny, like, thank you for sharing. I know it's really it takes courage to be vulnerable and sharing here in this sacred space. And I'm also from Mexico. I came here when I was a teenager, so I know that culture. You know, it kind of be a really good on one side, and then the other side is kind of painful, right? That collectivism that we see ourselves as a family. That always there is a lot of judgment when we try to move out of that family system and try to look for something, for our mission, for our passion. There is always that retention, that judgment, like you should be here, right? And look, when you face that transitions to move here to a different culture, you're not just losing your culture, your family, you're also losing a part of yourself, your self-identity that reflects back with what Lorraine was saying, taking care of everybody, right? So it's you are going to this transition. Who am I if I I lost identity, if I lost everything that it was stable for me, and now I look back and all the love that I give, but how I am receiving now that I need it the most, what I'm receiving back from all these people, right? So you kind of connect with what I was doing, and I'm not receiving anything now, that support. And then going through that painful relationship, right? It was a lot of abuse, right? That it make us question us, our self-esteem, make us question who we are as a human beings, right? And it's so much that we can take in, and thank you for sharing and being vulnerable with us, and staying here, standing up, no matter why you are standing up and finding here healing, and that shows the courage, the resilience that is within you.
Thank you. Gracias, Norma.
For that, yes.
Gracias.
I want this to be a supportive thing, and I'm so sorry if this is offensive in any way. If Norma and Vaughn, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, Vaughn, if you want to speak to each other in Spanish, feel free and go ahead.
Oh, okay, gracias.
Thank you.
It often can be healing, right? Just to go back to.
Yeah, you're totally right. So it's the healing comes when we speak in our native language, and we connect profoundly with those emotions that are there. So, yeah.
Gracias. Gracias.
¿Estás en Oregon?
En Newport, Oregon, sí.
Oh, Newport, ok, yo estoy aquí en California. So,
muy bien.
sí, pero ahí está
Ojalá
mi
pueda tener
información.
tu información. Gracias, Norma, qué linda. Me encantaría platicar contigo más. Muchas gracias.
Yeah.
Muchas
Ahorita
gracias.
ahí lo ponemos y ahí para conectarnos y todo. Siéntete con la libertad.
Gracias. A
Y
veces
no
da
estás sola.
vergüenza que como sanadora te digan cómo puedes estar mal o cómo puedes tú sufrir. Da mucha vergüenza que piensen algo así cuando somos normales, humanos, y prefiero a veces no decir nada. Y estar aquí en el negocio me hace muy feliz porque hago lo que me gusta, lo que me apasiona. Solo que tengo que aprender a no regalar tantas cosas porque luego me encanta dar y eso.
Y hay un desbalance en ti también.
Pero tengo que practicar eso. Gracias.
And it can, well, let me tell you a little bit.
Yes.
And it's just, I think a good point of what she says, that maybe we all go through at some point in our lives, right? Because we're healers, kind of sometimes they see us as perfect, or we don't make mistakes, or we should heal ourselves, right? So it's kind of the standards that sometimes there is towards us, right? But I also feel like we're healers, but we also go through our own process of healing, our own process of transformation, right? And that doesn't make us be better or less healers, right? It's just that we are humans, and that helps us to be human. Because if we were perfect, maybe we would not be here, right? That humanity, that being humble and helping each other, and you are that person, right? You are humble, and you are here, and we all go through this process of transformation.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot. Thanks for your understanding, guys. Thank you.
We've got more answers for you too, if you can be on longer. And I just want to mention, or I want to ask you, where in Oregon are you?
I'm in Newport, Oregon. You are more than welcome to visit.
Which city?
Newport is the coast.
Okay,
Newport.
yeah. Okay, Newport.
Mm-hmm.
We have an in-person fair in Eugene coming up next weekend. So
good. Hopefully I can go there. Yeah, I will do my best to go.
I'll put the information in the chat. I know Dr. Aubrey's got something to share with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome to have a booth if you want to next weekend, or like
that is awesome.
It looks like the beautiful things behind you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Is it Van?
Yes, from Vanessa. Yeah. Mhm.
I am going to go a really different way.
Mhm.
I think hopefully this will be helpful in some way.
Thank you.
I got this is actually a genetic issue, and it's
Mhm.
a sun reaction. And I think it has to do with, there are particular genetic SNPs, they're called, that create kind of an extra sensitivity. Oftentimes healers have these because we're sensitive weirdos. And so what I feel like is you're having an imbalance in the third chakra.
Mhm.
In my world, that's sometimes digestion, and it feels like you might not be pulling in enough minerals, the minerals that are specific to that enzyme. And the question that I usually ask there is, am I okay? Just asking, am I okay? Your strength came in as your ancestry. And they said, research your ancestry. So my suggestion would be going on something like ancestry.com or 23andMe and actually run the data and then send it through. You could find a doctor that does those genetic SNPs, or there's one called Strategene that you can do it online. And my suggestion would be those two. That's very clinical, I'm sorry, but go after those and they'll tell you usually which exact enzymes are not functioning well. It's not that they're not functioning, it's that they're special and they need particular minerals that might not be in our soil that you grew up with. So you might go ahead and dive down those rabbit holes. I feel like your ancestors are your support, and they may even be your ancestry is coming to try to help. So that's my read.
Thank you. May I ask a question? How do I write SNPs?
Yes, I'm going to write it all in the chat to you, okay? Because I know that was a language that's not super helpful.
Perfect. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And Dr. Aubrey, I want to mention too, so chances are, Van, you came from a lot of sun and now you're around not much sun and it's much more humid, is that correct? So I'm just wondering, Dr. Aubrey, you said typically like response to sun. I wonder if it's something about a change in the amount of sunlight also and the humidity.
It feels to me like it's more a change in the mineral absorption from the food and the soil, that you're sensitive, and that there's a particular enzyme in there that when it has too much sun but doesn't have enough mineral base, it actually doesn't thrive well, and you get detox reactions that don't go well. So and I don't want to tell you, I don't need to dig down the whole hole, right? But I can give you at least the first couple steps to find that they can give you exactly which genetic stuff you have and what minerals it requires.
Thank you.
You can also message me if you get lost in it. I will see if I can help you.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Alicia has something.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I really resonated with what both Norma and Aubrey had shared. So I'm going to kind of just pull out the SNPs that were new, okay? So I really saw that it was an issue with your root chakra, especially if you're a Reiki practitioner. I'm not sure what kind, but I heard to really use that symbol Seihei. You know that one? Okay.
Yeah.
So work on that with your root chakra, and that will be help. Have you made a decision if you plan to stay or to go back to Mexico yet?
No, I really don't see myself going back to Mexico. Like, I mean, I want to go visit, and I haven't been able to go since, even though I got my green card. There's no appointments in the consulado. I don't know how to say that. Consulate. The place you go, like an embassy to do like your passport and all that. And they have no appointments. And then when they gave me finally one, they canceled. So I haven't been able to go because of my Mexican passport. And I mean, like, I don't feel like going back. At the beginning, it was hard. I missed everything. I really don't feel, I just miss my mom and my dad and my brother. But I don't
I'm
know.
happy to hear you say that. The reason I asked, and please tell me to zip it whenever you
No,
feel
it's fine.
like it.
It's fine.
But I'm seeing that there's really a question about your identity, and not necessarily in a bad way. It feels like there's this really beautiful opportunity for you to recreate yourself and create a new identity for yourself.
Yeah.
What Aubrey was saying about the bloodlines and the ancestry was really interesting to me, because I sense that you are carrying stuff from your ancestors. And so it's kind of their trauma that is in your bloodline. And by kind of going through this, this experience and going through especially this big move, you are really healing past traumas for people in your family and your ancestry that
Wow.
aren't necessarily your own. You're kind of carrying their baggage and healing it, and that will then heal the past generations. So
Wow.
it's a really beautiful opportunity, and they're really, I'm hearing them, they're just really thanking you and sharing their gratitude and wanting to tell you, you know, how much support you have, and how grateful they are that you are doing this on behalf of your whole family. And they're also saying that your family that's alive here in Mexico, when they were a little angry, they said, don't worry about that. That's their stuff. That's not yours. And I don't mean to be any type of rude, but I heard pescadores too, and I believe that's fishermen. And so it made a lot of sense that you're living on the beach. And I hear messages through stories that I understand. And so part of the reason I asked you about whether or not you plan to stay or go move somewhere else is I think of like the Alaskan fishermen, and they're almost like snowbirds too. And so they'll go up for about 6 months at a time and go fish and then come back and live somewhere else. And so it seems like you have this beautiful future in front of you as you kind of recreate this identity. And I do see you kind of moving between two places seasonally. So just consider that as an option as you move forward, if it resonates with you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm writing down.
Oh yeah.
Great.
Thank you so much for sharing your
Thank you
story.
so much. Thank you.
Great. And then Donna has something to say.
Thank you for sharing your story. That was just, it's a beautiful story. And it feels to me like, this is just how it's coming to me, is that you are going to create your own business and be very successful and be able to, as Alicia was saying, you'll be able to travel back and forth between your old place and here, and you'll have compadres, is that the right word?
Yes, compadres.
Be working with on both ends in this business that you're going to develop, and you'll be very successful in both places. And is your mother's mother still alive?
No, but I think I see her every day as a white butterfly that follows me everywhere. And I say, good morning, Grandma, every morning.
Yeah.
I love her so much.
She just came in, and the same thing that, don't you worry, girl. That's what she's saying. I don't know what the girl in Spanish, but just don't you worry, girl. You are strong. You're going to do it. And you don't listen. I'm taking care of them for you. So like,
thank you.
She's being very strong, because she says she's my girl.
Yeah, and she's my example. I love her. My mom. Yeah.
Keep talking to her, because she's with you all the time. That's great.
Thank you. That's great.
Good luck to you, dear.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, happy to include you in the community. We have online events and we have the in-person events in Portland and Eugene. So yeah, Eugene on the 23rd, 24th will be there. Yeah, I'll put the info in the chat again. Thank you for coming on and sharing your question and sharing yourself with us.
Thank you. Thank you for everything.
All right, Jamie is next.
Well, hello, everybody.
All right.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to dig back through the chat because I threw my question in there like a while ago.
Okay, yeah, and I've got a version of it. I can read it off if you want.
Uh,
You said,
basic- well, about the PTSD. I want so much to heal and get past my trauma. I want to clear the stagnant energy and blockages so that I can get positive momentum in my life from today forward. And I'm trying to figure out where I need to start with that, because I'm to the point that I'm having so much. I'm tired of crisis and crisis on top of crisis, and it's adding more trauma and more negative energy and stagnant energy, and it's and I'm constantly angry, and so I'm not sure what to do or when. And having ADHD and Hashimoto's disease and all this other stuff, all these health issues and things like that, where does it stem from? I mean, I got trauma even from spiritually. So what do y'all got for me?
yeah, thanks so much for asking. As everyone's checking in. I know your background is different. Are you in a different place or just you're in a different angle?
I'm in my kitchen. I've been like packing my house up as I'm listening.
Yeah.
And trying to move because, you know.
Yeah, I appreciate you taking steps and facing what's here, you know, and moving forward and asking a question about how to support yourself.
Well, because I mean, as you know, I mean, I have things I want to do,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to do. Go ahead.
We got Alicia's ready. If you go ahead, Alicia.
Yeah, what I was going to say is that if you are feeling a lot of anger, that's really related to your sacral chakra, which is also creativity. And so maybe consider, you know, not only what the root is of your anger, but how this anger is impacting your creations, right? And so that would be any experience you're creating, any physical creations, but also those emotional creations as well.
I feel it. I don't know. I get mad, but I think it stems more from frustration, because like I'm basically packing my house alone. I reach out for help, and I became to and out of fear and rejection and things like that, and past hurts, I've out of necessity just stopped asking and just do things myself. I've had out of necessity to become an independent woman and mother and everything. And sometimes I feel like I got a little more masculine energy because I've had to play mom and dad for so long. Like right now, I feel like I'm in the masculine energy side of my brain because I'm doing to get things done because it needs to be done, because we have to be out of our house Tuesday morning by like 7 a.m.
Yeah, there's definitely a time for both. So remember, when you embody that masculine energy, you're really producing, you're putting out, you are energizing. And so when you're ready, come into that feminine side and really try and reconnect with that more softer side and receiving and healing and loving. Not that sounds wrong. It's not that masculine doesn't also love, but it's a much more gentle type.
Well, I mean, I've been doing this for so long, and I do seriously want to get back to the feminine side of things, but I've been doing this for 4 years pretty much. And before that, I was in a domestic abuse relationship for 10.5 years. And so I literally, lots of disappointment, isolation, because he would run everybody off. He was a narcissist. He had to be a lot of gaslighting, a lot of pain and suffering. I mean, he had our kids. He was so abusive. Our kids were put in foster homes for 7 months. So I'm holding a lot of trauma, a lot of disappointments. Also having different modalities, dealing with the empathically, the psychic realm as well. I get messed with a lot with and from the spiritual realm as well. So I have trauma from that, waking up and being suffocated and no one there. You can't see anybody, but you're being choked out, scratched, hit, bruised.
Let's let's be with the things that people on the panel see today, and then I've got some other ideas too. I'm going to message you. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm going to stick this a bit out of my wheelhouse. It sounds like maybe finding someone who can work with you one-on-one over a longer period of time, because if you do have some of these deeper scars, it's more than one day can tackle.
Yeah, and I found affordability is the problem for me, because I found someone here locally in town that can help, but on $100 a pop is a little out of my affordability realm. So I'm just kind of doing like popping into here because it's more my affordability realm to get whatever I can get here and there. I mean, I figured out last, they're told some other things health wise, and I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, Dr. Aubrey's got something, so let's go.
Hi, Jamie.
I got a lot to unload.
Actually, what I got for you is pretty direct, and actually, the main thing I would think as a take home, I agree 100% with Alicia, which is I actually see your second chakra as your strength, Dawn. So that your symptoms are showing up as frustration and power struggles and all this, because that is where you need to step forward and take some real emotional risks. Okay. And that's going to sound like bullshit, because I think the main problem is your fifth chakra. I don't think you're lined up with your truth. I think something blew out your will. Okay. Like your will actually blew out. Your fifth chakra blew out. Okay, so it's hard to, what is true? I don't even freaking know anymore. I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not true. I just know I'm constantly in stress. Okay.
Right. I have a thyroid cyst growing, and I've had a partial removal of my.
That is stress on you. Okay. That's a stress system. That's a system of stress, but you've learned to plug into it, and you've learned that it's normalized, and it is not ever okay to have that level of stress, not ever okay to plug into that level of stress. So my suggestion would be, they said, just say no. Okay. So you need to start saying no to everything, everything. I don't care what it is, unless it's a full yes all the way through your second chakra. It's no, everything's no. You watch a 3-year-old, they do it really well, just like this all day.
Second chakra is the which one again?
Second is your power center, right? Your belly, lower belly. So lower belly. Go down to your hara. So like where your uterus is, darling, your mama center. There. Okay, that's hurting probably and feels like crap because it is strong, so strong on you. They gave me 3 things. 1, you need to stay out of the stress. You need to do something to just say no to the stress. Number 2, you're here to break. They said, break belief systems. This is your life purpose. You came in to just power through and knock belief systems out of the park. Okay. You're going to change systems. So you are a super genius. Like you feel like this crazy, powerful person, but you have to line your will up with that energy and protect. I don't know how to explain that. You don't get to push your strength of will through a stress system. You don't get to allow it to utilize you. That's a no. Instead, you do counseling. You freaking go to the counselor. I don't care how much they cost, figure it out. You probably would change the world for your kid, right?
I just got a counselor last week with the lady that I'm speaking about at $100 a pop. Is she does theta healing.
Beautiful.
But it's $100 a pop for
so
9.
You turn around and you just You're a single mom. What are you telling me you can't figure out money? You will pull this and manifest it when you need to. So, but you don't prioritize you. You've not learned, you have to. It's going to break down if you don't. It's already breaking down. I think you don't want to hear it, but you're
Yeah,
also in the environment of pain is what they said. Your environment is pain right now, all around you. So you got to that's a no. Get out of the environment. Move yourself away from the stress. Prioritize taking a risk on setting yourself forward. I'm sorry I'm yelling so much, but
No. I'm proud.
you are strong and you can freaking do this. You're not here. Your will is usually so strong for everyone else. It's probably really messed up if it's blown out. So go to your gut where it's uncomfortable and frustrated and do it anyway. And don't make any excuses. You don't like them from anyone else. So you're not going to take any excuses out of your mouth. You're going to say, I don't know what's true. I need to be quiet about it. And I'm just going to go towards what I know I need to do.
Getting away from your landlord is going to be a really good thing. I know you're packing, you're going to move, and
Yes,
getting
I
away
know.
from this will be good.
Yeah, and I do feel like it's not going to be over just yet either. I still gotta, after I move out of here, I still gotta fight to go after this with them.
Okay, you're a fighter. Get out of the stress first.
I will. I'm planning on getting out of this house, but then what's the more stressful thing that's coming up is we don't have anywhere else to live.
So there's a great community that you connected with in working for tenants' rights.
Right.
Reach out to that community and find out who can support you in finding out where to go. So Jamie's been on before and I've heard some other questions, so I know a little bit more background. Yeah, Jamie, reach out to that community.
I did last Friday. I went and did that and I started making headway. It's just, I had literally, what's the system thing that y'all were just mentioning and stuff. What is irritating is that as a single mother with autistic kids and kids with disabilities and things, we literally have to be in our car to get help. And that is, I'm working, after I get done and settled, I'm gonna try to fix that crap.
Yeah, so they maybe can help you on Wednesday.
If you are a mother of an autistic kid, send me an email. I will find your community. You guys are going to change the world. All of my autistic moms are going to change the world. You're here to change the world, but you need each other and you don't have time for each other. So please send me an email. I'll put it in your thing. I will get you hooked up with some other moms. Do you want that? Other autistic kid moms. All right, we got it.
Dr. Aubrey's information in the chat.
Yeah, Jimmy, if you feel I also can support you and find more resources, yeah, you can connect with me as well.
Through my email in the chat. I mean, because I want to do stuff and to change, but it feels like I am getting roadblocked by something that's outside of me a lot.
And I just want to keep our focus too on like protecting your energy and supporting you. And I know we have one question after you too. Go ahead, Norma. Well, go ahead, Norma, if you had something else you wanted to share, Dr.
Oh,
Donna.
no, it just, yeah, Dr. Aubrey shared everything, and I agree with that totally. And, I have seen clients with PTSD, and you need support. You need to be stable in order for you to go up there and fight.
Right. I mean, because I live in Oregon. I have all my only blood relative that's here is my 20-year-old son. And our relationship is not great either. But all the rest of my family live in Mississippi and in Michigan. And I felt the need to come out here again, to try again, because I needed to prove something to myself, because I've always, all these relationships I've been in, I've like sacrificed so much and so much of everything and so much of myself and gave myself away and twisted myself in pretzels to please somebody, even though it didn't please me, just to have a little bit of creature comfort. And coming out here with just driving just my kids and myself, and going through 7 months of homelessness, living in a shelter. And it taught me I needed to advocate for myself. I've been working on this since I've lived here in 2018. And as this part of my life, I'm about to be 42. So I'm getting tired of people's crap. And so I'm starting to speak up more and saying no more. And I'm not going to take this anymore and stuff like that. And trying to use my voice and trying to fight for other people also, as trying to make change for myself.
I like Dr. Aubrey's description of you and your purpose. It's really great. But yeah, so I just want to go back to just your question. You started off with and I want to be able to give you, you want so much to heal and get past your trauma. You want to clear the stagnant energy and blockages, right? So you get in positive momentum. So yeah, practitioners, have you had anything else for Jamie? Jamie, I love that you're listening to us and you're packing. It's really good. It's getting your energy out of there and finding better community, better people to be with. And I know it's a crazy process of what you're having to go through so that they can
simultaneously. I'm going through multiple things at once. I feel like I'm handling it a little bit better than I have before. So
great. So yeah, practitioners, anything else you want to share with Jamie? Okay. Yeah, so Dr. Aubrey is going to support you, connect with you with other people. I've got the emails together for both of you.
All right. And can you tell me one more time? I got ADHD. I got to have it here again. What my life purpose was again.
Yeah, Dr. Aubrey, if you can speak that again, it was great.
You're here to break belief systems. Okay. I see you almost like a superhero, like the Incredible Hulk or something, except for you're like hot, right? Not a green giant, but you are here to break through things, and so are your kids, right? So you're here to break systems that don't work. You can't keep doing it if you're broken, and you need to start saying no right now, all day. No, just try it. Try it on anything. No, I don't want a glass of water. No, I don't want you to stand on my head again, son. Right? No, we're not going to do that right now. Just try it. Yeah.
It's saying yes to you, right? It's saying no to all these things. It's saying
no for like 2 weeks to everything, because I know that you will make anything work for your kids. I know you will.
And don't take no for answer for some other things, because I was told that, well, I'm not able to help you, and I know better because I've seen it. And I'm about to take that on probably tomorrow or Tuesday, but after I get done with this, I know I need to take things one step at a time. Also having ADHD, I'm taking on multiple projects at the same time, and I need to take one thing at a time to stress myself out.
That yes or no thing that Laureli did earlier with the yes and no feeling be really good. Second chakra. Yes.
Is that also why I have stomach problems sometimes? Because it's off?
I think your second chakra is your strength. That's why your body is giving you the message right there. So listen to it when your stomach is like, oh, that's a no. Just check and see if it's a no. Probably.
Yeah, and I appreciate you being strong with your yes in terms of being an advocate for the things that you need, right? And like, yes, you'll find a way to support me. Let's sort out what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Jamie. It's good to be with you again. And I love break belief systems that don't work. It really
fits. Things need to change. I mean, really, they do.
So thank you so much.
Thank you
for being here again. All right, Joy is next. Joy, where are you?
Oh, hi, everyone. Let me just turn this on.
All right. What is your question today, Joy?
Oh, well, this is a kind of a different thing. I think you know, though, recently one of my dogs passed, and there's a really, some of the people that I've worked with have said that they think that dogs and humans reincarnate as animals and humans reincarnate as each other. So people can reincarnate as animals and vice versa. So I have a really strong bond with animals, and this one, it was really unexpected and unnecessary, because I think it was caused by a medication she shouldn't have gotten. And but her spirit is still here. Like the night after it happened, I stayed up and I was making videos of her from our security camera footage. And like at 2 a.m, I heard like the sound of her scratching on the door. That used to always be her, I mean, like really distinctly. And I've heard it a couple of times since then. And my other dog, they never got along, but they always knew each other were there. And every once in a while she'll go to the door where my other dog was, and she'll look like she's looking for her. It's really odd, but I'm just wondering if you get a sense of any particular message or meaning from that. I mean, and the other thing is, she was never able to be in the house because they never got along. So one of the things that I really always wanted to do is, I mean, I would have loved for them both to be in the house, because, of course, but they would fight to the death. So they're pit bull mixes. So one of the things that happened is that, I ceremonially brought her into the house and want her spirit to be here, and it seems to be. So yes, anything that you get from this, that would be great.
Yeah, thank you. And she who's still with you barked in the background as you were sharing about her going to that spot and looking at the other ones. That was great. Donna's got something.
Hi, is it Joy?
Yes.
I my eyes get closer.
Oh, sure.
Sorry about that. Everything that I do in my work is exactly what you've experienced. This is a beautiful example. And what was her name?
Valentine.
Okay, so I'll try to go through all of the things that you mentioned, one by one. Number one, all animals and their guardians, okay, while they're still on the spiritual realm, before they come back to earth, this is my belief, they sign a divine contract. And what it is it's you two decide what you will share, what experiences you want to learn from, and for how long. So she chose her time of going, even though you want to assign guilt to it. She had that as her divine pathway. Okay, so she wants you to know that you are to accept no guilt for that, and you are to accept no guilt for leaving her outside. That was exactly the way she wanted to live. It was not a punishment in any way to her. Okay, she was happy the way she was. The second thing you asked about was reincarnation. Okay, let me go back to the animals a minute. It's my belief that animals come from the angelic realm. They choose to come and live with us, and they come for two reasons. One is to help us learn our own lessons, teach us, and the other is to be supportive as companions. Okay, so it's kind of like on two different levels, the doggy level and spiritual level, that they come to be with us. So she definitely did both of those for you. The reincarnation, everybody has their own beliefs about it. My belief is that you choose what body you wish to come. And animals often will come back as another dog. A dog becomes a dog, but I've had people tell me they're absolutely positively assured that their dog came back as a cat they now have, or they can be people. And I mean, it's interchangeable. There's no, in sense of Einstein and quantum physics, there is no timeline. There's no linear, what's the word I want? Linear dimension to it. The energies flow and ebb. They're instantly in the past, in the present, and the future, all at the same time. So now the scratching, absolutely. That was her way of letting you know that she was there, and she wanted, she was already in the house with you as a spirit, but she was doing that to assure you that she was not a dead gone dog, that she was in spirit, alive as ever she was in the physical.
Yes.
Now, your other dog going to where she was. Okay. Usually the remaining dog, which is in the house now, they will see their orbs. I can't see orbs very good, but dogs, I have a dog that stares in the corner of my bedroom every about once a week for one of my pets that crossed over. She comes to visit quite often, and I can hear her bark, but I can't see her orb. So that dog is going over there, and just, you might even see his head go back and forth, like he's watching something, and that's the orb that's coming around. And that dog that crossed over is coming to visit him, even though you think they were, enemies. They were really good pals. And it's hard to understand in an energetic way, but they were talking to each other all the time. Even if they weren't together in the house physically, they were mentally sharing stories and talking and say, guess what happened today?
Yeah.
Man, joke of it, but they're quite aware of each other. What was the other question? There's something else you said about, that you made a remembrance for her.
Yes.
Is that you made a remembrance?
Yes.
So and you could just put her ball on her picture on a table, but every time you imagine or sense or remember, or you look at your videos and you remember, she's there instantly. I mean, she's with you all the time anyway, but she comes more strongly in the spiritual when you're doing that. And you may even feel, I'm feeling, okay, so your right side, I'm feeling her pushing against you right now. She's her body weight, she's like sitting beside you, and she's like just like leaning into you. I don't know if you can feel that or not, but she's wanting you to know that she's with you all the time. She's still protecting you, and she'll let the other dog know what he's supposed to be doing, because now that she's in spiritual, she said, I can handle him better now. He'll know what a little better now that I can tell him from the spiritual side. But that is so that story you're telling about the scratching on the door, and you're sensing that she's there. Everything is true. Absolutely everything. It's not, in fact, I had a lady and her husband came to a reading one time, and she said, could I ask you something? She said, do animals exist after they die? And I said, yeah, sure. And she said, well, would they be around you in the house? And I said, yeah. She went like this. She said, oh my God, thank heaven. She said, I thought I was going crazy. They had a black cat. And since the 2 weeks since it died, when they were sitting in the living room watching television, she would see the black tail flip around the corner of the kitchen door. She said, I thought I was going crazy. And so she told her husband, he says, oh, I wasn't going to say anything, but I saw it too.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're beautiful in spirit. They're beautiful in love. They're beautiful and caring. And if I can leave you with one more thing, the love that you shared is never, ever, will never dissipate. There's only one thing in life and in spirit, and that's love. And what you shared will always be, ever.
Oh, that's so wonderful. A couple of things that came to mind when you were talking is that night that she was scratching on the door. I was making those videos and I was getting really emotional. So it felt like she was like trying to comfort me. And,
yes.
And the other thing is that her being able to speak to the remaining dog, that the one still in the house is really mischievous. And so she's been a bit better since this happened. So it could very well be something to that.
Yeah, and it will help your remaining dog very, very much if you will just put your hands on him, her, whatever it is, and just, you can talk out loud or in your mind, but just say, this is what happened. She did, I'm really sorry that she's gone, but it was her time to go. And you'll be seeing her soon. And you know that she's around. It's not, I mean, kind of like talk and then put your hands on and just kind of like, if you can feel some energy coming through your hands, healing energy for them, for the loss, you put your hand on each side of his shoulder like that. An intention. And you don't have to touch, but just intention that you're sending him healing for his loss. And it will greatly help him to adjust to her not being there, even though they didn't live together in the house, So
Right.
that's a beautiful story. Thank you so much for sharing.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Donna. That's really, really wonderful and helpful.
Thanks, Dr. Donna. Alicia.
I heard a lot of the same messages, so I won't repeat those, but just thank you, Dr. Donna, for really sharing a lot of that wisdom and love from your pet dog, Valentine. The one thing that I did hear that I wanted to add was a question from Valentine. She is here, and she was saying, is it time to move on? And the caution I'm hearing from her guides is that to make sure that, if you hold on too closely to Valentine, she can kind of get stuck between the worlds as she's trying to stay with you. And so remember that she can move as a spirit freely between the worlds. But if she gets stuck in one, then that can kind of hinder her forward momentum.
Oh. So
just make sure that, and the other part of that I'm hearing, what Dr. Donna was saying about pets reincarnating back later, it sounds like she's going to come back in time with you in the future again. So it's really important to make sure that she knows it's okay for her to move on. And likely what's going to happen is she's still going to come back and hang out all the time for a while. But she also needs to know that you're okay with that, because if you are holding too tightly, she'll try to stay with you.
Oh yeah, that feels like, it really feels like she's still here in spirit. So it feels like that's true.
Well, and remember what she's trying to do is as your spirit moves into other spirit realms, she's going to keep following you. So she needs to be able to also keep going at her own flow.
Right. Yes. Okay, thank you.
And I do want to reiterate, she'll still hang out, but just make sure that she knows that she can also move on when that time is right.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that I, of course, I wouldn't want to upset her or negatively affect her journey either, of course.
Mm-hmm.
No, not at all. It sounds like she's just a little confused. So make sure to clear that up.
Oh yeah, actually one of I was talking with a friend of my cousin's recently, and they knew someone whose dog passed, and then a kind of a very not close acquaintance of theirs was in a coma, and they woke up and said, your dog, I saw your dog. And because the dog had just passed, and so she said the dog seemed confused, didn't know where to go, so she helped it, and then she woke up from her coma.
Yeah, that's sweet.
And that's everyone kind of has a purpose and a role, and sometimes they're very small actions or communication that can have big impacts.
Great.
It's a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
I guess if you can wait for a moment, Norma. Dr. Donna, did you want to say something brief that was right about that, and then Norma?
Oh, I don't know if it's appropriate or not, but I'm in the process of finishing up a children's book It's called Where Did My Dog Go? And it's to allow a child to grieve for a pet and understand that they're still with them. I'm not sure when it will be finished, but if you would like me to send you a copy of that, I would be glad to do that if you would put your address, or at least give me your email so that you can send. You don't have to put your address there, but if you give me your email, I'll contact you when I'm ready to send it to you, if that's okay.
Oh, that's so nice of you. Thank you. I would love that.
Yeah, and I'll
Yeah.
email you together. So I'll do that right now.
Yeah.
Great, great.
Nice.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Donna.
You're welcome.
That's a wonderful project.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Norma.
Thank you, Joe, to share. What I have done before when a pet pass away is we do a ritual within the family, and we light white candle, and also I do a cleansing on the house to allow the spirit, all the energy, all the memory, emotions, everything, so we can bring it together and bring it to the light, and allowing the pet to cross over, as Alicia was saying, just to separate them from this material physical world into the spiritual world, to allow them to be there, to be a spirit, to bring them to the light. It's kind of that transition that we want them to go, because when we hold them by our emotions, they don't know. The same thing happened with humans. I work a lot with grief, and when we are so tight and we don't let them go, they are still in the middle. They don't want to go into the light because that person is kind of pulling them back, that love, all these beautiful memories, emotions. So the same thing happened with them. So we can bring them together and let them go, so they can come back, but as in a spirit, a free spirit, to be with you, to help you, to guide you in a different dimension.
Oh, great. Great. Thank you. That's really beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, anything else for Joy?
Well, thank you, everyone. That was really, really helpful and enlightening and comforting. Very, thank you.
Great, great. All right. Well, thank you so much, Joy, for your question.
Joy, excuse me, before you go, is that your email that's at the bottom of the chat now, or have you put it in yet?
I emailed the two of you together.
Oh, you emailed us.
I
Okay.
emailed the two of you together. Yeah.
Okay, I'll also put it in your message, Dr. Donna.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Thanks.
Joy has joined us as one of our practitioners now too. All right. Well, yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. We're going to have the practitioners check out again by sharing their name, their modalities, their specials, how we can contact them. And I'll share a little bit more about our upcoming events. I know someone was asking in the chat about our upcoming events. I'll post it in the chat and I'll speak to them also. So yeah, practitioners, maybe it looks like Donna's typing. So go ahead, Aubrey, if you want to share first. We'll have Aubrey, Norma, Alicia, and then Dr. Donna. Yeah, so your name, your modalities, how people can reach you. If you want to share your specials too, go ahead.
I'm Dr. Aubrey Wallace. My website is my name, draubreywallace.com. And you can book online there. The special I'm offering for the MeWe is just to use that coupon, it says MeWe22, and you can get 22% off your medical intuitive readings. That is really just for the medical intuitive readings. I do have my medical intuitive membership, or Art of Evolution membership. We'll be renewing this in the next month. So you might want to check that out if you feel like diving deeper. And I think that's it. Or you can see me in Snohomish if you need a naturopathic doctor.
Great. And I was like multitasking a little bit. Did you definitely say your website so people that are watching the video later can find you also?
draubreywallace.com.
And do you want to spell it just in case?
DRAUBREYWALLACE.com.
Great, great. All right, Norma.
And everyone else on the panel is awesome.
Nice. Thank you. I'm a spiritual healer, shaman. I do healings in person, also at distance, trauma, emotional, physically, spiritually. If you want to connect with the spiritual guides, if you want to just connect with your intuition in close, you can always find me in my phone number is 408-658-4235. And also my website is www.wingsforlove.com. And I can also always put it in the chat as well. And I also do business and houses cleansing to remove energy, also to bring harmony, peace into the families and to the property as well.
Great. Yeah, and that's Wings for Love with the number 4. And you've got several vessels that are in the chat. Great.
Okay. Thank you.
Alicia.
Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you to all the practitioners and participants today. My name again is Alicia Rose, and I do animal and intuitive communication as well as energy healing. You can find more information about me at roseco.co, roseco.co.
Great. And yeah, and you're special in the chat. Yeah, it's 50% off for first-time clients. And Donna.
Hi, everybody. My name's Dr. Donna Sauer. I'm an animal energy healer and a communicator, both with animals that are present in the physical and those that have crossed over. I do readings, long distance, for the healing and for the readings, and send you all the information in an email, all detailed. If you are interested in having a reading with your pet, my website is www.drdonnaac.com, drdonnaac.com. And my email is dr.dlsauer@gmail.com. So if you need any help with your pet, please let me know.
Do you want to say anything about the book that you just have out? And so you said a little bit just there about the book that's coming, and there's another one too.
Yeah, my first book came out in January. It's a series of poems that are have to do with Mother Earth. It's called When Grandmother Speaks, and it's based on my Lakota healing traditions. My daughter, who's a professional photographer, took all of the wonderful native natural photographs for it. I think it's beautiful, but of course it's my daughter's work. And it's available at Amazon. The new book, children's book, is coming out. It should be done in about another month or so. It's called Where Did My Dog Go? And it's about trying to help children understand, even though they're sad, that their spirit of their dog is still with them, and they have no guilt about why the animal crossed over. And so I'm looking forward to, I had a wonderful friend that's done all the illustrations for it. She lives in Olympia. So it's been a nice joint project between the two of us. So thank you.
Thanks so much, Dr. Donna. Yeah, and I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader. You can find out more about me at laurelishamayo.com, LAURELISHIMAYO.com. My sessions are 40% off for being here today. If you want to reach out to me in the next few days to schedule. And all of our MeWe events are at mewefairs.com, MEWEFAIRS.com. Online events we have coming up on, well, I'm getting ready to, let me say in person first. I'm getting ready to go to Eugene later this week. We're going to be in Eugene next weekend, April 23, 24. We have around 35 practitioners signed up right now. We have a little bit more space if anyone else wants to join us. So we'll be at Lane Event Center in Eugene. Right before then, on Thursday night, I have a circling event, Authentic Relating Circling, going to be leading in person. And going back to fairs, we'll be here in Bellevue again, April 30, May 1. Our booths are sold out. I can't remember how many we've got. We've got 50-ish practitioners and vendors. And then we'll be in Anacortes, so about an hour and a half north of Seattle, May 14, 15. And someone asked about Portland. We're going to be back in Portland again, June 4 and June 5 for a fair in Portland. We have lots of booths open. It's a great big venue. We're open to more people joining us if you'd like to join us. And then let's see, we have online events coming up, and all this is in the chat for those of you that are watching right now. If you want to see in the chat, Thursday, April 28th, so that's not for another week and a half. We have our online fair. We usually have about 16 practitioners that do an intuitive panel that answer questions from the audience during the first hour. And then they're in breakout rooms offering all sorts of educational talks, group readings, and healings. And they're available for sessions at the fair as well. Monday, May 2, we have a panel on hypnosis, soul integration, and embodiment. Wednesday, May 4, we have a panel on metaphysics. It's a practice circle. So it's an opportunity for you to practice your gifts. And something that came up the last couple of days, to make sure you all know, is you don't have to be practicing a specific modality to participate in that. You can simply come and just be in rooms with other people and just share whatever's coming through. Like it may be intuition, it may be stories you're making up, and you get a chance to find out, or you get a chance to practice and get feedback on what's coming through. You can do it in groups of 3. It doesn't have to be just groups of 2 that are doing that. And then Monday, May 9, we have Anything and Everything is our free online MeWe training panel. So if you're a new practitioner, new to sharing a particular modality, you want to get practice sharing on stage before you leap onto one of these panels with us, we support you in the process of doing that panel. We get on a little early. The panel's a little shorter. We take questions on anything. It doesn't have to be a theme. Yeah, and I want maybe let me wander my way back to for the practice circle or for the training panel. Like if you have a particular modality that you're practicing, it's great to come here and practice that and share that too. And then Friday, May 13th, of course, it's May 13th, we have a panel on witchcraft and alchemy. And yeah, tons more coming up too. We've got space for lots of new panels coming up over the summer and more fairs as we go throughout the summer this year, since it was a little slow getting started. Couldn't do it last fall. So thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. I will go ahead and take us all off spotlight in a moment. Yeah, thanks for being here with us at MeWeFairs.com.